Mayor, it's always a pleasure to see you. Yonkers Voice in the house, right here in Mount Vernon with Mayor ANDRE WALLACE. I call him mayor because even though he's a former mayor, to me, he's the mayor. It's a term that I use in a respectful way. Okay?
Thank you.
In a very respectful way. We always got along.
Absolutely.
Okay? I'll try to keep my political opinion off my page. This is a platform where anyone can come, express a point of view, speak about a platform, and then the people make the decision on what they hear and what do they see.
That makes sense. That's really the truth.
I try my best. Am I perfect? No, I'm not. But I try my best to be as perfect as a human man, as a human.
I appreciate that.
Mayor, it has been a long time.
Yes, it has. I haven't seen you in like 2 years at least.
That's right. We speak on the phone here and there, but I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah.
And I got this call from you, and I'm here. I'm always where you need me to be. You and any other person that has anything of relevance to say.
Yeah.
Mayor, how is Mount Vernon doing today?
Now that's a tough question.
Do your best, sir.
There's so much that needs to be done in Mount Vernon, you know. It's not doing as well as it can be, you know. And you know, that is the sentiment of many people in Mount Vernon at this point. And we need to get over the hump that we've been held down so long. So I'm looking forward to that happening in the near future. And hopefully, you know, Mount Vernon will turn around. I believe we are already at the point where there's no other place to go but up. So we have to, you know, focus, do what we have to do, and make it a better Mount Vernon. Because I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm gonna die in this town, I'm here till the end. I'm not planning on moving, not planning on going anywhere. So if that's the case, you got to make it the best you can possibly make it.
Mr. Wallace, what do we need to do? When I say we, I'm talking in general terms. What needs to be done in Mount Vernon to make Mount Vernon a better place? You know, if people are running for whatever positions they are running, they choose to run, it's because they're not happy with whatever they see.
Right.
Because if they were happy, then they say, look, Mount Vernon is in the right path. Okay, it's a lot of work involved when you get elected. It's not as easy as many people think.
Yeah.
So if you are happy, you and others, you just let it go.
Exactly. I always say that it's not where it's supposed to be. If Mount Vernon was doing great, if it was prospering, if it was doing and giving us the services that we deserve for the tax monies that we pay, I wouldn't be running for anything. I'd be doing something else. I'd be sitting down because I wouldn't have any complaints. I'd be happy. But right now, Mount Vernon is in a bad place. And I think it needs people to come in and work hard to change it and make it better for the people. Because right now, we are paying so much in our town and we're getting so little. And if you compare us to all the other towns and what they're getting for the money that they pay, we're just so far behind. And it's just so unfair. Not only to me, not only to you and everybody else. It's just not good.
No, I don't know if you guys caught on that, but the cat just came out of the bag 3 seconds ago. That's the reason I'm running.
I did say those words.
You did say
I did say those words.
You did.
Okay, well, that's the reason I'm running.
Okay, now, so you're running for what?
I'm looking to run for mayor again and come back. And I think that, you know, when I was mayor for the brief time, I was city councilman. And when I got into office to be city council, that's what I really wanted to do. Legislation, work on things to be able to have the administration follow the letter of the law, do things better for the people. And then, you know, we had a turning point and I became the mayor at that particular point. And I saw what can be done and how it can be done. And I got a sense of how it was to be mayor and the responsibilities of mayor. And then when looking at that, I was just like, you know, how come others that sat in this seat, you know, are not doing these things that are so basic for the people, quality of life, and giving it to people. And that's what most of us want. And, looking at that, I'm saying to myself, hey, let me sit in this seat, give me a couple of years, and we will turn Mount Vernon around and also instill the quality of life that we're supposed to get. People picking up after their dog, clean streets, paved streets, clean sidewalks, garbage pickup, all of these basic things, just the way it all looks run down. We have to take care of a lot of the zombie homes. We have to change the image of Mount Vernon before anybody's going to want to come here or respect us.
Mayor, I'm a strong believer. Okay, and I even look at myself. Look, I'm not a politician. I don't like politics. I like running around with cameras filming this and that, but I really don't like politicians.
I'm not sure about that, but go ahead.
I don't understand the complexity of budgets, percentage, how things work, but I understand the quality of life.
Quality of life is important.
Exactly. I understand that. I understand that I want the garbage picked when it's supposed to be picked.
Right.
I understand I want my traffic lights in a place where they need to be.
Right.
I understand that I want first responders responding to when I have an emergency. Yeah. I understand infrastructure. And I think everyone in the city or any city understands those things.
And it's basic things.
The basic things.
Everybody everywhere can agree, whether you live in Mount Vernon or not, that quality of life, it's the same issues that you want, that I want, that everyone else wants. It's just basic things in life that we need to go forward and to be happy. People want to be able to, like you said, have the first responders respond first rather than your neighbors and everybody else that goes around, and beat them to. You want all of these things that when you call on that you pay for, okay, you get and you receive. There's no programs for our children in this city. There's no very little things to do. Everything that we do for people in Mount Vernon is outside Mount Vernon. We spend $396 million a year outside of Mount Vernon by people inside Mount Vernon. And just imagine if we started to build up Mount Vernon, bring in the business that we need to bring in here in Mount Vernon. And if we just capture maybe 25% of that money, that's still $100 million. Our budget is only $137 million or so. So I'm sure another $100 million coming in can do a lot being spent here in our city, and you want to go to the movies, you got to go outside. You want to go entertainment, you got to go outside. You want to go to a nice restaurant, you got to go outside. You want to take your kids to do something, you got to go outside. We need to develop things here internally, and many people have asked me to run for other offices, higher office. The reason why I'm here is because I'm about starting with my house first, home first. Before you start worrying about everybody else, let's get our house into order. And if we can't do that, no one is going to come in and help you because you don't have yourself together. And what we need to do is start focusing on that. That's the only way we're going to move Mount Vernon forward and start to lift it up the way it needs to.
Now, Mayor, let's rewind the tape to what we initially said. The reason I'm running is because I'm not happy with what's going on. And I need to change that.
Yeah.
Specifically, let's talk about 2 or 3 things that is on top of your priority list that you are not happy with and how you're thinking about changing those things.
Well, when it comes to quality of life, first of all, I'm going to go with the top one first.
Okay.
I'm not happy with the new taxes. They call them fees. They've given us a new sewer tax. That sewer tax is one of the things that I'm going to remove as my first order of business, because we've already got $150 million. And I say I thank Gary Pretlow, who's always delivered for Mount Vernon, Christian Gilliban and Governor Holcomb. They've done an incredible job to get us this money so that we can fix these sewers, line these sewers, and start to get, our infrastructure back into place. However, if we got that money, why are we still charging our constituents for the sewer? That tax needs to be repealed, and it needs to be repealed right away. You know, it's double taxation because a lot of folks is paying for all of this stuff, and including the garbage tax. We already have our taxes inside our, you know, garbage pickup inside our taxes, and then you're creating another fee on top of it to pick up the same garbage. It's not like people are now saying, hey, I'm getting a fee, so I'm going to put out 20 more bags.
Correct.
It's the same bags. You're getting the same service. You're just getting a higher price now. And, you know, for other people, I listen to some of the folks, they go, well, it's not that much if you break it down, but it is a lot for seniors. And it is a lot for other people on fixed incomes. Exactly. Because a senior can't call up Social Security and say, hey,
I need a raise, right?
I need a raise, you know, inflation is going up and I need to, you know, match it and you know, go along with it. That's a problem. Police in our streets is a problem. We've lost so many police in the last 2.5 years. At least 90 of them have left and went somewhere else. Although we're getting new rookies in, you don't have the senior officers there to train them.
The
so now,
right, the experience.
Right, and that's important because you can't have rookies training rookies, you know, because they have not learned yet how to deal with things. And this is very important, but, you know, it's not going to get better until, you know, you sit down with the police department, you work out a deal, you give them a contract, okay, and we have to find a way to increase the salaries because we're like one of the lowest paid for, you know, it's true, underpaid.
Mayor, let's hold on that thought. Guys, you are hearing this first on Yonkers Voice, the largest social platform in Lower Westchester, probably the county. This is an exclusive announcement that ANDRE WALLACE is running again for mayor in the great city of Mount Vernon. Does he have your support? Let's see, people will make that decision.
Yes, well, you know, some of those people I say, are you happy with how it's been going in the last few years with Mount Vernon? If you are happy with what you're seeing and things are working good, then stay with the people that are there, you know? But if you want change and you want to be able to see where we can really go, then you want to vote for me because it's important to vote for somebody that has a vision, understanding, and how to run a city and how to run government. Because a lot of folks sit back and they say, hey, you know, you're a businessman. Okay, Mount Vernon is a corporation. You know, and I try to tell everybody, and everybody who owns property here or owns a house or owns a condo or owns a co-op, they're all shareholders. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that your investment that would eventually turn into your retirement, because some people buy homes and they invest in their homes and later on they want to sell it for their retirement and downsize after the kids are all gone and things like that. You don't want it to dwindle away. You want to see it in the green, not the red. You want to look at your investment growing, okay, not shrinking. And in Mount Vernon, if we don't get it right, you know, you're going to come in and spend $1 million on a home, and by the time you're ready to sell it, it's $700,000. That's not what we're looking for. So you want to make sure we turn the city around. I'm your guy. And
guys,
on
that note, let me remind everyone that is watching us that Yonkers Voice does not endorse or oppose any candidate. We are a platform where every single candidate can come on and talk to the people who are watching us to inform them so they can make a decision.
Yes.
Okay, based on what they hear. We do this so you can engage. We are running this live. If you have a question for ANDRE WALLACE, okay, please ask the question. If you are another candidate that are running for the same position and want to be here sitting with us, reach out to us. We do not endorse or oppose. We are an open and free platform to all, regardless of who you are. Something happened in Mount Vernon last night. We don't know if next to the police. Okay. We don't know if it was an inside job, if it was an outside job, if it was a parallel job, or a job that came from the top. We know it was a job.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about that.
Well, what I heard, And my understanding is that they broke into the water department. And I was puzzled on how they did it. But apparently, across the street from the police station, they pulled out the AC unit out the window and climbed in through the window. They didn't get much money, maybe a couple of $100s, which back in the day, there would be thousands, maybe $40,000, $50,000 in there. But it's a good thing that the mechanisms that we changed in the past when I was there, and I brought in, I think, one of the best water commissioners of all time, you know, and I have to say that not because I'm touting myself, it's because of what the man has done.
Who was that?
You know, and that's Spruill.
Okay.
So Carlton Spruill has done a phenomenal job. And think about it, he's changed over everything to automated and all, and the cash that used to stay there is no longer there. So they don't leave cash in the office anymore. So if you break in, you're really not getting anything. He digitized all kind of things. Even if you open up the register, they know what time, who did it, all of those kind of things. So what they did, they didn't open it. They stole the whole register, took the whole drawer, and ran off with it, whoever it was. But it was nothing really in there. So that is a plus for us because we could be another $50,000, $60,000 in the hole on top of the $63 million that we're in debt right now, according to the controller.
Mr. Wallace, what do you think is the biggest problem in Mount Vernon? If you were elected, okay, we already spoke about the priorities, but if you were elected, what would be your first thing that you would be addressing?
Well, I will be addressing, you know, the crime in the city would be the first and paramount because no one is going to bring their business into a city where they feel unsafe. No one is going to walk the streets and come out to do things and participate and shop in our stores if they don't feel safe. Safety is a priority. It has to be. I want to see I want to get in there. I want to be able to, in the first 6 months, see grandma walking her dog at 12 o'clock at night, like you see in other communities, without any fear, without worrying about who's going to come rob you, knock you over your head, not only steal your wallet, steal your dog, you know. But these are the things that have to be done. We have, I would say, like a city that has no boundaries. It's more like an outlaw city. Anybody can do anything they want here because we allow it. And it will continue to be acceptable until we stop accepting it. And I don't accept it. So we're going to have to make those changes, and we're going to have to work with our police department, to work on all of those different things and all of the things of quality of life. I was driving here earlier today, and as I'm at the stoplight, I watch and see somebody throw a plate of food out of the car on the side. But what happens is they wouldn't do that in another community. It's only because we accept it here.
Correct.
And it's become so frequently done that it's become the norm, that people are numb to it. I watch people walk down the street and just step over the homeless people laying there, and like if they're not there. These are problems that we have to change. We have to start waking up. We have to start becoming more conscious of our surroundings and what it's supposed to be, because this is not it.
I tell people all the time, listen, it's okay to talk about problems. It's okay to understand problems, but it's also good to be part of the solution.
Absolutely.
There is things that we as residents can do to make our city better. Like the person that just opened the window and threw the food out of it.
Yeah.
Look for the closest garbage can and throw in the garbage can.
Exactly. It's very easy.
Your dog poops on the ground, take a bag with you, because you know why you took your dog out for.
Exactly. And you know what's so funny too? It's very simple. On my block where I live, new people moved in. They're walking their dog without a leash. The dog's crapping all over the place, crapped in front of my house. I asked them to clean it up. They didn't clean it up, so I cleaned it up. Okay, the next time they did it again, I had it on camera. I went to them and asked them to clean it up nicely. They wouldn't clean it up, so I went, called the police, went back to their house with the police and the video. and showed them and explained they walk the dog without the leash. They don't pick up. They have to clean up the neighborhood, and it's unacceptable. You cannot move in our neighborhood and think it's okay to do that. And it's my block. You know, I'm part of that block with everybody else. And I sat there, you know, just wondering why everybody else didn't come out and say anything, but complain to me about the people letting their dog crap in front of their house. So I say this to say that. I say that to say this. Now I see her walking her dog on the leash, and I see her picking up her dog crap all the time. You know, she doesn't walk in front of my house anymore. She crosses the street and go over because she knows I'm going to complain or whatever. But it takes everybody, these little steps, because if no one would have said anything, it would have continued to go on, you know? And if no one says anything to other people, it will continue to go on. And the funny part about it, you know, they point me out as the complainer. So the other person who was walking their dog without a leash now has that dog on a leash because they're afraid that I'm going to bring the police to their house.
So you solved a problem there.
Yes.
But if more people would get involved in those things, we probably would live in a better city, regardless if it's Mount Vernon or other place. I think that most of the issues is that people don't care. Okay, they talk, but they really don't care.
Yeah, but we have to care. We have to care because nobody else is going to really care for you.
Yes.
And you know, other people on the outside looking in see a different picture. Because I know this for a fact because I hear what people are saying outside. I was at dinner with my wife outside, and I was one table away of a couple of four talking bad about Mount Vernon. And it took everything. My wife had to stop me because she was like, don't do it. Yes.
Because you're here for dinner?
Because I was ready to turn around and start, you know, probably not cursing them out, but, you know.
Voicing your opinion.
Voicing my opinion because the things that they were saying. And I have to take in consideration because as we were driving home, we had the conversation and my wife is like, well, you don't see it the way they see it. And they're looking in. You're in it. You might see it, but they see a different picture. They see that it's unsafe. That's how it comes across for them.
She has a very valid point. Okay.
Yeah, but I still don't want you talking about my town.
But she has a valid point because when you are in the situation and looking at the problem, you're seeing the problem from a different angle, from a different lens. Yeah. So those outside always have a solution, always have an answer, and they see it differently.
Yeah, but they weren't given solution. You know their solution, and the conversation that pissed me off the most was they were talking about the Audi dealership because Mount Vernon Audi dealership left Mount Vernon and went to New Rochelle, and the conversation they were having was they're glad it went to New Rochelle because they were so afraid to go over there in Mount Vernon because it's so unsafe and dangerous. But this is what I'm saying, how people are perceiving us outside.
But that's the perception, sir.
But we have to change that.
But how you change it? Probably you have a plan.
I have a plan.
To make people feel comfortable and say, look, Mount Vernon is safe. Instead of going elsewhere to invest, let's go to Mount Vernon and invest. Yeah. Let's do whatever we can to make our city a safer place. Talk about safety. I was just at Mount Vernon a week ago or so for the announcement that 20 new hybrid vehicles were delivered to Mount Vernon. They are already in Mount Vernon. 5 are already in service. 5 or 6 are already in service, and the other are about to get equipped so they can be placed on the street. We got new vehicles.
Yeah, and that's great.
We have enough officers now.
You can have a lot of vehicles, but if you don't have the officers to drive them, that's a problem too. And the officers, you know, I don't want to go into how bad the situation is because I don't want to tip off criminals that might be watching us. And, you know, next thing you know, tomorrow night they're breaking into the other side of City Hall through the window. But it needs to change, you know. And I can understand the police and I sympathize with them because before I left, I tried to give them a contract. And the conversation that I told them was, if you don't get it now, you're probably not going to get it. So let's work it out. And we were sitting down talking. Unfortunately, at that time, they were like, we're going to wait for the next administration because they said that they're going to do it with us. And, you know.
Are they still waiting?
They're still waiting. But the bottom line is you have to understand the last time they had a contract was in 2016. And I was there because I worked with Maureen to give them that contract in 2016. So you're looking at 2016 to now. That's 6 years. Look at how inflation has increased. I'm sure some of them live in apartments, some might live in, their rent has gone up, their cost of living has gone up, you know, everything else has gone up. The price of food, you know, if you've been to the supermarket lately, what used to cost you $200 now costs you $400 for the same thing. All of that is going up. So what is really happening when you look at it is that they're not getting an increase, they're getting a decrease in life and a decrease in their situation and in their quality of life. They have families they have to feed. They have to wives they take care of and bills they have to pay. And then you have to look at, okay, I'm not making any money, but now I got to slap on this uniform and this badge and go out there and smile and protect everyone. You know, you have to feel as if I was a police officer, I would feel as if they don't care, you know, and that I can see is a problem for morale. It's a problem for how police, you know, that are coming in, the new rookies coming in, you know, they're probably looking at what am I coming into, you know, so a lot of this needs to be changed. They need to sit down because I guarantee you if they can sit at the table, there is a way to do it. And to work that out so that they can have a contract, so that they can be happy. There is a way. There's always a way.
As I always say, for you to retain your employees, your salary must be competitive.
Absolutely.
If it's not, then why should I join the Mount Vernon Police Department?
Yeah.
Your campaign to hire police officers in the city of Mount Vernon could be as hard as you want it to be. If the salaries are not competitive, I am not joining. Or if I join, I will leave very soon afterwards when I find something better in other municipalities around. If people want to support you, if they want to reach out to you, endorsements or whatever, Mayor, how can that be done?
Yeah, they can always reach me at ANDRE@ANDREWALLACE.com. So that's ANDRE@ANDREWALLACE.com. And, you know, send me an email, get on the email list or anything. You know, my phone number is always available to others. You can pick it up online, and I'm all over the place because I share it. I speak to everyone who wants to get involved because there's no one man that's going to do this job. I could win as mayor, but it's not going to take, I can't lift all of this. It's going to take the right people and everybody getting involved and understanding how we do this because we all have to work together to make it happen. You know, and we need to also make sacrifices. See, because what I tell people now, I said you would pay $200 to go to the Knicks game or the Mets game or the Yankees game. And it's okay to spend that kind of money, but we won't give the police officers, the school teachers, and the people that really impact our lives, the ones that take care of our children, the ones that protect us, the firefighters that run inside the fire and pull us out. And you have a problem with that. But it's okay to say, hey, I could spend $500 on a pair of sneakers. We have to start thinking about what our priorities are and what we want to do in life, what is right, you know, and how to change the quality of life for all, because it's important. Because I tell everybody now with this whole thing, you don't miss a police officer until he's not there.
Correct.
You don't miss the fire department until they're not there, you know? Or school teachers as well that spend most of the day with your children. You know, they're practically partners in raising your children. You have to do your half, they have to do their half, okay? But these are the things that we have to start looking at differently. Sometimes you just have to step back for a moment and just take a look at what's going on. And then you'll have, if you really want to see it, you'll have a vision of what is going on, and then you'll just shake your head and say, listen, I have to change. Things have to change. It can't continue this way because we can't survive this way in this mode. Doesn't work.
Well, on that note, we are going to conclude this conversation. I'm sure that there is much more that we can just keep on talking, but sooner or later we have to end it. I want you to remind you all that are watching this that Yonkers Voice does not endorse or oppose any candidate. We are just an open platform with every candidate are free to come and speak with the people who will be in charge of making that decision on election day of who deserves your vote. We are just a platform that is dedicated to inform you. Now I'm going to let Mr. Wallace, Andrew Wallace, candidate for the mayor of the City of Mount Vernon, to do the closure. Please, sir.
Yes. Well, you know, I just wanted to say that there's a lot of people that have been stopping me in the streets and calling me on the phone and texting me an email and asking, is it true? Are you going to run again? Just to, you know, let people know and to get rid of all the rumors and all, I thought I'll come out and say, yes, I am running. So there is no question about it, because a lot of people say in Mount Vernon we have rumors all the time. So nobody knows what's the truth, nobody knows what's real, but this is real and this is the truth. I'm running for mayor at the next upcoming election, and I want everybody to come out and vote. Whether or not you vote for me or whoever, just vote, because we've given up so much to be able to get here to vote. Exercise your power to vote and let your voice be heard. And this way, you'll never have anything to say.
And you heard it here on Yonkers Voice. Thank you all. Thank you, Mayor. And hope to see you soon. And don't forget, anytime you need to talk to us, I'm a phone away.
You got it.
Thank you.
Thanks.